What up, YouTube Live? mm. There's some good water right here. I've been trying to cut down on my soda, man. You know me, I love drinking soda pop, root beer, Coke, Pepsi, what have you, but just trying to get back to being healthy again. So water it is for me, man. Water it is for me. At least for the foreseeable future. How's it going, everybody? Right now is, what is this today? Monday, September 14th in the evening, 7 p.m. Pacific time here in California, and it's been quite a dramatic day for me because I was supposed to interview a few big A-list stars, but unfortunately I got screwed over out of that opportunity. I was so looking forward to it, but it just sometimes, I the old saying, shit happens. Well, sometimes shit happens because somebody effed up. Somebody didn't do their, what they're supposed to do. So unfortunately that's the case. I was angry for a while, but now I was like, you know what? Woosha, woosha, woosha. I don't want to get angry anymore. I'm just gonna focus on, what I love. Talking about movies and TVs and stuff. Alright. So I want to discuss this, but I want to make sure first that our live stream is okay. So let me open up my Gmail here. Where are you, Gmail? Where are you? That's not it. Alright, you know what? I know how to do this. My internet's kind of slow. I apologize. But yeah, I really want to talk about... Ooh. It's not here? Maybe it's on videos. There it is. Where are you? Alright. That's not it. Okay, so we are on. Just want to make sure we are. And then let's get the comments up. Alright, so this is... Well, I had my own drama today. This particular drama has been going on for quite some time now. For the past few weeks, I would say. And the drama surrounding... What I meant is the drama surrounding Justice League. Which is pretty fascinating if you think about it. Because Zack Snyder is coming out with the Snyder Cut Justice League, right? On HBO Max next year. And so everybody's looking forward to that. Rightfully so, understandably so. But this drama is kind of like, I don't know if this is the kind of PR that Zack Snyder's Justice League cut wants right now. I'm talking about Ray Fisher, man. Ray Fisher. He's the guy who plays Cyborg in Justice League. And just to refresh your memory again, Zack Snyder directed Justice League, but then he had to leave the project halfway through due to certain family tragedy. And so Joss Whedon stepped in. He was brought in by WB. He was hired to replace Zack Snyder and finish the project. Right? Remember, because they were on a deadline, and the movie was supposed to arrive November, I believe, November 2017. And so apparently some things happened on the set during those reshoots, during the Joss Whedon's involvement with the project. And it leads up to now where Ray Fisher has publicly expressed his disdain for Joss Whedon, and also basically he's complaining that WB did not have his back. So I know there's a lot of moving, components here, so I want to walk you through what happened exactly. Let's see. Where are you? It starts out, I believe, in August. where, or maybe earlier than that, maybe July, where Ray Fisher tweeted a few things calling out Joss Whedon for some abuse. Yeah, I think it's abuse, and it happened on the set of Justice League when he worked with Joss Whedon. But the thing is, Ray Fisher never really specified what that abuse was. But of course, because he tweeted that, it spread like wildfire, and it started the hashtag I stand with Ray Fisher. Everybody started taking sides, understandably so. But still, the details of what that abuse is, it was never really revealed. And Joss Whedon, to my recollection, has not spoken about or has not responded to Ray Fisher's accusation until today. I mean, to this day, he still hasn't actually said anything, Joss Whedon, which is kind of a smart move, because if I were his lawyer or if I was his legal team, I'd be like, yeah, better not say anything. So what happened? You might wonder, like, what really happened? While the details of the accusation about the abuse were never really revealed, the timeline supposedly, so something happened on the set of Justice League reshoots, right? And then Ray Fisher brought that complaint up to producer John Berg and DC Entertainment head honcho. At the time, it was Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is no longer the DC Entertainment president. He stepped down, I believe, 2018 to start his own production company. And then, of course, he gave us Stargirl series, which I love. So, but at the time, he was the DC Entertainment president. So Ray Fisher's like, hey, you know, this guy, Joss Whedon, did this. We don't know what that is, right? What he did. But he's like, yeah. So he brought the complaint up to Jeff Johns and John Berg. And according to Ray Fisher, at least this is from his tweet, that Jeff Johns kind of threatened Ray Fisher's career. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, it's like, oh, dude, just drop this, okay? Enough with this BS. You know, you work for us. What are you doing complaining like this? You know, we need Joss Whedon to finish the movie. You know, and you know your place. It's something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Basically, according to Ray Fisher, the tone was threatening, like not murder threatening, but like threatening, like, oh, you know, if you want to go ahead with this, you know, keep pushing on this, I want to make sure you don't have a job in this town anymore. So something along those lines. And you know, when somebody wields power in such a way, it's not really news, you know, in Hollywood specifically. You know what happened to Weinstein and how he blocked the careers of a lot of wonderful female actresses. So, but that's Ray Fisher's accusation against Jeff Johns, right? He said he has his accusation against Joss Whedon, and it's like, hey, Jeff Johns actually threatened my career. And John Berg didn't have my back either. So, fast forward to not too long ago. Apparently, Warner Brothers, or maybe Warner Media, but anyway, this big studio, this gigantic studio, right, with a long history of movies, they started an investigation. Investigation as to what happened on the set of Justice League during Joss Whedon's, you know, during Joss Whedon was in charge. But Warner says that Ray Fisher was not cooperating with the investigation. But then Ray Fisher said, hey, you know, that's not true. That's not true at all. So it's a he says moment here going on at this stage of the drama. And now it leads us to today. I think it's a few hours ago. I want to say about 3 p.m. Earlier today. Guess who jumped in and supported Ray Fisher? none other than his co-star, Jason Momoa. So this is what he Instagrammed. Can you look at this? He says, "This shit has to stop and needs to be looked at. Ray Fisher and everyone else who experienced what happened under the watch of Warner Brothers Pictures needs proper investigation. I just think it's effed up that people released a fake Frosty announcement without my permission to try to distract from Ray Fisher speaking up about the shitty way we were treated on Justice League reshoots. Serious stuff went down. It needs to be investigated and people need to be held accountable." Wow. All right, let me pause there real quick. I got a lot of things to say about that. First of all, fake Frosty announcement. What is that? He's referring to the news from Deadline Hollywood saying that Jason Momoa has been cast to voice star in a Frosty the Snowman movie for Warner Brothers. Apparently, according to Jason Momoa, that whole movie news was planted by Jeff Johns and John Burke to distract from the whole Ray Fisher thing. So that's funny, you guys. That's funny. It's like fake news, right? Fake news, you guys. It's fake news. Oh my God! If Jason Momoa was telling the truth, then wow, Deadline is complicit in that, because Deadline is a pretty credible website. You know, we all go to Deadline for legit movie news. You know, the casting news, who gets cast in this and what. And for Jason Momoa to say like that's fake, that's not right, that's not true. I didn't sign up for any Frosty the Snowman bullcrap. That's massive, yo. That really puts Deadline's credibility to question, along with the accusation, that's like, oh, they planted the story, they as in Jeff Johnson and John Burke. So that's one reaction. It's hilarious. Frosty the Snowman. By the way, if Jason Momoa were to ever voice Frosty the Snowman, I would not have any problem with that. I think Jason Momoa would make a great Frosty the Snowman. So, okay, so the rest of this comment, this shit has to stop. It needs to be looked at. Everyone who experienced what happened under the watch of Warner Brothers Pictures needs proper investigation. The shitty way we were treated on Justice League reshoots. Again, remember what I said. Ray Fisher never actually revealed, let alone specified, the specifics of the abuse that he said Joss Whedon inflicted on him on the set of Justice League during the reshoot. We don't know. To this day, we still don't know. Nobody knows. Did Joss Whedon yell at him funny, or did Joss Whedon throw racial slur? If that's the case, it's not cool. It's not cool. And Joss Whedon has had a history of mistreating some of his cast members. Some of his other cast members, had different experiences. Alan Tudyk, who you know as the pilot from Serenity and Firefly, he came out and defended Joss Whedon. It's like, hey, my experience working with Joss Whedon, on all those projects had been always good. So I don't know which Joss Whedon that Ray Fisher is talking about. And Alan Tudyk, his argument is it's not that it's invalid. It's just that everybody's experience is different. Specifically, everybody's experience about Joss Whedon apparently is different. And according to Ray's experience, Joss Whedon was an a-hole. So yeah, right now, Jason Momoa has gone into the ring in support of his co-star Ray Fisher, and a few bullet points that I want to point out here. You might wonder, like, okay, so you have Jason Momoa supporting Ray Fisher or backing him up. What happened to Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ezra, what's his name? Ezra Miller, right? That's his name. And Ben Affleck. What happened there? How come they're not speaking up? How come they're not speaking out? How come they're not tweeting or Instagramming about their support for Ray Fisher? Well, my theory is, obviously I don't know what's in their hearts. They're not revealing anything. My theory is because they have a lot to lose, right? Especially Gal Gadot. She's got that Wonder Woman 1984 coming up. For her to jump into this drama and get into the mud with all this, it would not look good. It would not be a good PR for his Wonder Woman, for her Wonder Woman 1984 that's coming up, I think, on Christmas Day. So she's probably like, yeah, I'm gonna be there with you, but in spirit, you guys. And the same goes for Ezra. He's working on the Flash movie, man, the Flashpoint, with the director of It chapter 1 and 2, Muschietti, that's his name. So he also has a lot to lose. I'm like, dude, I got this movie, man, with WB. I don't want to piss off WB, I'm still tied to this thing. Just like Gal Gadot is still tied to WB's Wonder Woman 1984. I think my theory about Henry Cavill, he's just not a confrontational kind of guy. He's not the one that just like, all right, let's get in the mud, let's fight this thing. He doesn't strike me as that kind of person. Henry Cavill strikes me as the kind of person like, you know what? I've got The Witcher. I've got these other projects. Enola Holmes. I've moved on, man. I've moved on from Superman and Justice League. I wish you all the best, but I'm not getting into this drama. That's the kind of person that, at least the impression I get about Henry Cavill. Ben Affleck, I don't know what his deal is. Zack Snyder, obviously, also he has a lot to lose, right? He's got this Snyder Cut coming out next year, so he doesn't want to stir up problems. So now it's just Ray Fisher and Jason Momoa, and Jason Momoa really is putting his neck out there for Ray Fisher. I don't know if this is gonna impact Jason Momoa's role in Aquaman 2. As you know, the sequel has been announced. I don't know if this means WB is gonna be pissed at Jason Momoa. I don't know. I have no idea. The same question goes with Ray Fisher. Is this the end of his career? My friend who I had a discussion with the other day regarding Ray Fisher, he's in the business too, and I asked him, like, what do you think about this, man? Why is Ray Fisher really persistent and so stubborn to push this against WB? I mean, I get it though. I get it. If you experience abuse at work, you gotta speak up, right? You gotta bring it up the chain of command. If the chain of command fails you gotta make it be heard somehow. You don't want to be you don't want to keep this under the rug. I get it. I totally get it. You don't want abuse at workplace, any workplace. But man, the level of the tenacity of Ray Fisher in this case, it kind of worries me. All right? Because as my friend and I discussed, this might lead to Ray Fisher not being able to get hired anywhere for any project in this town. And he doesn't have to take Jeff Johns to threaten his career, because Ray Fisher himself, by doing this, he makes himself seem like a disgruntled employee. He makes it seem like he's not, a team player. All right, I'm not making a case in support of WB. I'm just saying that could be the optics, the perception that others get from watching this, from viewing Ray Fisher's, going up against WB. Other projects, other filmmakers might think of like, well, if I hire Ray Fisher, who's to say that he won't, try to pull off, something similar? I'm trying to make a film here. What if he doesn't work along with me, and then he accused me and then he has to, fight the studio that I'm trying to make this movie for. That could be the optic that goes around the town right now. It's like that. I don't want to work with Ray Fisher. See? So, but, my theory is that deep down, I think Ray Fisher knows that this is it. Either go big or go home, right? I think if you're in Ray Fisher's shoes, there's a part of you that knows, like, yeah, I may not come out of this really well. By the end of this, I may not be able to get hired anymore. But you know what? By God, this is the hill that I want to die on. And that part of Ray Fisher, there's something to be admired about that. So who's telling the truth? We don't know yet. It's Jason Momoa and Ray Fisher versus Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, of course, encapsulating Josh Whedon and Jeff Johns and John Burke, the three people specifically mentioned, in Ray's complaints. We don't know what happened during the research of Justice League. If only Ray would just tell the public, here's what Josh Whedon did to me, then maybe it would be easier for the public to actually take his side. Because right now the hashtag I stand with Ray Fisher, as well intentioned that may be, it's got a lot of holes in them. It's got a lot of questions, like, even the people who are like, yeah, I'm with Ray Fisher, and you ask them, like, why specifically? What did Josh Whedon do? Like, what did he say on the set? I don't know, man, but I'm with Ray Fisher. But at the same time, whenever there's a David versus Goliath story like this, David, of course, being Jason Momoa, and Ray Fisher, Goliath meaning the giant studio with WB. If you ask me, I always pick the David. I always pick the little guy. So, yes, there's still a lot of questions unanswered. There's a lot of holes to the story, to the accusation by Ray Fisher. But I can understand why people would hashtag stand with Ray Fisher, because in this scenario, he's the David, WB is the Goliath. Last bullet point. This makes me feel sad. I'm a DC guy. I've been a DC fan since I was a kid. When it comes to Marvel, I'm a late bloomer. I didn't know much about Marvel till later on in life. DC's always been my thing. So to see DC stirred up in this kind of drama, as a fan, you don't want that to happen. It's like, we don't need this publicity. The only publicity we need is, a string of good movies. That's what we need. We don't need this crap. But more than that, Jeff Johns, he gave us Stargirl series. I freaking love Stargirl series. If you haven't watched Stargirl, you are missing out, yo. It's one of the best shows ever made. And so I'm just conflicted. Right now I'm just feeling torn, between my love of, DC Entertainment and Stargirl and all these properties. And then I'm torn. Part of me is like wanna support the David, not the Goliath. And I was like, even though we don't know exactly what Josh Whedon did, it's like, a hero like Cyborg and Aquaman, they would probably side with, the David of the story, the little guy, not the Goliath. So I'm torn between that. It's like, oh man, this is not a good position to be in when you are big fans of DC. So we'll see how this plays out. But I just want to share with you at least the timeline and what has happened so far with this whole drama. All right. So again, for those of you who just tuned in, Ray Fisher tweeted a few months ago calling out Joss Whedon for abuse on the set of Justice League when they were doing reshoot. And then Ray Fisher brought it up the chain of command, but he said that Jeff Johns, who was the DC Entertainment at the time, threatened his career. He said that Jeff Johns told him, "Hey, drop this, y'all. What are you doing? Don't push this. We hire you. You work for us." Something along those lines. And Ray Fisher said, he also named John Burke as one of the people who were not supportive, or who was one of the enablers, and who didn't put Joss Whedon into account. So, and then it leads to Warner opening up an investigation, but Warner says that Ray Fisher was not being cooperative in the investigation. Ray Fisher said that's not true. And now it leads to today with Jason Momoa saying, "Hey, enough with this crap, and don't say that I'm in that freaking fake Frosty the Snowman movie, okay? So that's a fake project. That's fake news. We have to investigate because shit did go down during the Justice League reshoots." Another theory I have as to why Henry Cavill, Ezra, and Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck chose not to get into this mud. In addition to them having a lot to lose, Gal Gadot has Wonder Woman 1984. Ezra has the Flash movie coming up. So they're like, I don't want to piss off WB. I get that, but I think another theory also why Jason Momoa is supporting Ray Fisher is because when you make a movie, during the production of the movies, on the set, oftentimes they're not in order. When you make a movie, you're not in order. You're not making it in order. Sometimes the scenes we're gonna do this scene today, and then we're gonna do the final scene maybe 3 days from now. But then we're gonna do the intro or reshoot the intro this Sunday. So it's out of order when you make a movie. And maybe I'm just theorizing that because Jason Momoa was on the day of the shoot when the so-called abuse happened to Ray Fisher, when everybody else were not around. Maybe Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill and Ezra, maybe it was not their time to shoot their scenes during that day. But Jason Momoa happened to be there along with Ray Fisher, and probably Jason Momoa saw what happened, and it's like, hey, I'm a witness. Shit did go down, so it needs to be investigated. And that's what Jason Momoa said. So that's one theory as well. So yeah. All right, you guys, that's it. Those are my thoughts about this drama. If you have any thoughts about it, or theories, or maybe questions about the whole thing, if you want me to explain it again, let me know what those questions are, your thoughts are, your theories are about this drama in the comment section below. All right, and as always, subscribe to my channel and ring that bell. And if you can help support me, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. Have a good Monday night, everybody. Let's rock this.